Greetings, Dr. Jeffrey Scott here. This is my weekend market update part 2, and I'm just going to go through today some of the stocks that I'm watching. For the full market review, I refer you to the video done on Friday, part 1. My email address is marketmripro@gmail.com. My Google group is called Top Down Trader. As always, for educational purposes only. Anything I talk about should be taken in the spirit of education. I may own or intend to buy or sell anything I talk about. Trading stocks and options should be considered risky. You should always consult with your financial advisors. And I have tools in multiple platforms, and I'm an independent trader. My Google group is called Top Down Trader. It's for anybody that owns my tools, anybody that likes to trade stocks, anybody who believes in a top-down approach. Anybody can join. It's free. And if you join, you'll get invited to some special education programs at no charge that I do online monthly. You'll get invited to get discounts on my products. And not every video I do gets posted on YouTube, but they're all posted in Top Down Trader. I've got a live meeting coming up, about halfway full of the room, Palm Beach Gardens, October 27th, 28th. If you've already signed up, meaning you've clicked on that Stripe link that's in the remarks section and paid, I will be sending out probably Monday more info about the hotel, what is the group, whatever name that they give us, so you can get the 155 rate. And I can't wait to see y'all. It's the Marriott Palm Beach Gardens, 2 days packed days of education and software, education, instruction. John Person has his meeting the 25th and 26th. I'm the 27th and 28th. Separate meeting, separate location, same city. Come to both, one set of airfare. If you attend, you get $400 rebate towards any of my tools. And cost is $12.50, and you'll get fat. I give you a warm breakfast and lunch on Sunday and Monday, and on Tuesday and on Monday night, Sunday night, weather permitting, we'll go out on my boat, Stocks and Docks, for a dinner cruise. For more information, reserve your spot. Just reach out to me, Jeffrey Scott at marketmripro@gmail.com. This week, just to remind everybody, we got not much news on Monday. Cool. CPI on Tuesday, lots of Fed heads Tuesday and Wednesday. Jobless and PPI on Thursday, more Fed speakers. And then import prices and sentiment, two things that could be market moving. And if you thought we were done with earnings, we're not. Another very, very big week of earnings. It's a judgment call to hold stocks over earnings dates. It's bad judgment to not know when your stock's earnings date is scheduled. The E-index is something we put together at the last live meeting. As markets are high, we put together a list of leaders, and when they break down, it usually precedes the market breaking down. When the market is beat up, we do the boxes, and we look for leading stocks to come up off the bottom. We haven't broken down, but we're sitting right on the 50. We traded below the 50 during the day on Friday. A bad day on Monday, and we'll be talking about how the E-index is breaking down. What do we expect? It's mid-August. We've got a bad month coming up for the market, September. In the last couple of years, the back half of August and September have not been pretty. For more information, if you have it, Market MRI Pro, you got any questions, reach Praveen at coding@marketmripro.com. If you want to order the software, if you have questions about the software, if you want questions about the meeting, just marketmripro@gmail.com. Consider joining our Google group, and I'll have the link to sign up for the meeting will be in the remarks section. By the way, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit the alarm. Helps me out to have more subscribers. YouTube will actually show this to people who I don't already know, and the alarm will let you know when I post them. On to the charts. So just to review, Friday, let's just look at the one-day performance. Qs were up 0.93, Spiders 0.78, Diamonds 0.5, Russell 0.22. The dollar was up a bit, Bitcoin was down 1%, volatility was down. On the week, it was a good week. It really was. Qs up 3.7, 2.97 for Bitcoin, 2.5 for Russell, 2.5 or so for Spiders, 1.42 on the Diamonds, down Dollar is down 0.5%, and the VIX was down. The new high, new lows remain positive, but they're getting small. If you look at the S&P 500 sectors, the leadership was technology, financials, and healthcare on Friday. And if we look at it over a 5-day period of time, so the week that we just finished, discretionary, technology, both above 3%, and staples almost at 3%. If you look at what themes worked last week, gold, metals, copper, lithium, then video games, robotic cars, uranium, social media, clean tech. So not as much of the growth names in the semiconductors sitting up at the top looking over 5 days. The other thing to point out here is that we saw half the stocks were up on Friday, even though it felt like a good day. 54% of the S&P 1500, only 49% of the NASDAQ, and 50% of the NYSE. I'm just going to skip to the highlights. Market breadth. Um, I thought for sure we'd have a Hindenburg Omen. When I looked at Sagar's market breadth add-on to Metastock, which is great, great stuff that guy makes, so smart. Um, he had a confirmed Hindi. Now he had a confirmed Hindenburg Omen on his composite index, which is combining the NYSE and the NASDAQ. I only see one on my product looking at the NYSE, and it's not confirmed. So I looked at HGSI, which has kind of been my gold standard, and I got all excited because they had a confirmed Hindi. It doesn't matter what I put there. Let me just put spider because the Hindenburg is calculated here on the NYSE. So just to avoid confusion, let's just take away that. So we had a confirmed Hindi. Then I go, well, why am I not seeing it? Why did we only see one and not two on Sagar's tools? And here's why. I'm looking for this thing here. There are requirements for the Hindenburg Omen. And one of those requirements is the smaller number has to be greater than 79. Our new highs and new lows are low. Nothing is better than 79. We're not going to fire at that point. So if I was to take off, or rather add this filter on, we don't have any Hindenburg Omens. So I think it's got to do with what are you looking at? The indexes might have variations, and that filter for having at least 79 stocks because we don't have them. Why do I care? Because if we get a confirmed Hindi, we got 30 some days to get one, that markets don't go up from confirmed Hindis. 1 in 4 will be a crash. Most of them are a modest pullback. And if I get a confirmed Hindi here and a break of the 50, that gets me out of the market completely. And I go to cash. And that's just because of experience. I may be wrong, I might be early, but considering the months, I'll be looking for that Hindenburg Omen. On the other breadth tool that I have, what I thought was amazing was we either set, well, we had an all-time closing high on the NASDAQ composite on Friday. Look at the AD line. And the AD line's going down on some of the others too, but they're not at all-time highs. Same thing with the spider, all-time highs, and the AD line is not making an all-time high. Massive divergences in this market. More reason to be concerned. The timing model, the good news was the monthlies are still in a buy across the board. The weeklies are still in a buy across the board. And the dailies, which were in a sell, the Qs flipped to a buy. So we were in a pullback and an uptrend. If I was a betting person, we're going to new highs. But we are also at a place where I think we could be in the topping process. And whether we get to new highs or not, I worry about the next couple of months. If I look at the index ETFs, and we'll just look at them in the chart, you could see, actually, I want to blow it up. So what I want to show you, what is this? This is the dollar. I don't want to show you the dollar. I want to show you the spider. You could see seasonality. 10-year seasonality is flat at best. You could see Strong day on Friday. You could see, I was looking at closing highs. There's closing highs. We are at a closing high. We are not at an all-time high. So Spider looks great, lots of support underneath, sideways seasonality. The seasonality is something I'm aware of. If we look at the Qs, blow them up. Again, all-time highs, closing highs. How can you not like that? Seasonality, sideways at best. Now the diamonds and the Russell don't look the same. The diamonds have been going sideways now for a number of weeks and in the midst of some weak seasonality until the end of September when seasonality turns higher. And if you look at the Russell can't get above this trend line. And it's sort of in a range between support at the 200 and this trend line resistance and weeklies are sideways. And if we look at the VIX on the week, since the markets were up nicely, the VIX would probably be down, and it was. And you can see the VIX was down 8.5%, and the dollar is kind of trading in a trading range, but below this line that I thought would be resistance. On the commodity front, you could see gold gave up a little bit on Friday, little being the key, while silver was up a bit. Right now, the silver stocks look strong. Oil is breaking down, natural gas is dead, and we gotten a bounce off the recent lows on both the 10-year and the 30-year. So summarize my market. I don't like the time of season we're in. It wouldn't be surprised for us to put in a short-term top here. I bet we're higher at the end of the year. Whether we get to higher highs now or there has to be a pullback first, I don't know. And if I see a confirmed Hindi, that's going to get me a lot less excited about this market. If I go into the JAS layout, let me see, let me load up my longs. I don't know if I've got this week's longs loaded yet. In fact, I think I don't. Yep. So here's how I load a list. These were last week's ones that I was interested in. Right click, import from file. I keep everything in my Dropbox because I have so many different computers. I never know which one I'm using. This way I have access, 810. And this is going to be about 50 stocks or so that I think are interesting for one reason or another that I'll be watching. So what does that mean? It means tonight I'm going to take Apple and maybe one other and work them up and put in some potential orders next week. But I want to show you some of the stocks that I like in the market right now. So Apple, I didn't do one Thursday night. I am so sorry because I could have told you what I saw, which was we had two momentum dots in a row, but those people that own my software, I hope like me, you were buying Apple as it opened and took out the 200 on Friday. It was a great day for Apple. You can see even though seasonality the market's weak now, not so much on Apple. Apple, I think, looks very actionable. Astera Labs, this one has run very far. I have a position in it. Sometimes strength begets strength. Maybe we flag it and we can take the next leg higher. ANIP as a generics manufacturer, I don't think I'd be chasing it here. I'd be looking for it to pull back. But it had great earnings, been having great earnings, great revenue growth with significant surprises on both. Not much dividend, but has a multiple of 33, which it's exceeding in growth. ANIP looked interesting. AORT had a big move up. It's a med device company that had some great news on its heart product. I don't know anything else about it. Look at relative strength at OBV. Look at the volume that came in. Now, this is such a big move, and it's at 100, I think, on the high jump. I'd expect it to fade, but I want to have it there so I can watch it. APP had a good reaction to earnings. Does it go and test that all-time high? ATMU, Atmos Filtration. Don't know anything about the company. Pull back, gradual move up, was struggling at the 200. I believe it was earnings, why it gapped up. Big surprises on earnings and revenue. Broadcom, I'm not sure it's actionable right here, but this is clearly one of the leaders in the market, and it's got its own seasonality. B is Barrick Mining, the old ABX. And this looks like it's being taken over, and I don't know the story here. Maybe it is being, maybe it is being taken over. Yeah, whenever you see lawyers, a lot of it has to do with takeout. CDE is a silver play, silver and gold. Look at the breakout silver's having. Celsius and Monster, both of the energy drinks, pull back to the 50, big breakout on Friday. I have a position in that one. CLS, one of the contract manufacturers, Celestica, may be breaking out of a flag. CORT, um, there's a reason I put it here and I don't remember. It doesn't look that exciting. Cisco has earnings this week, broke out from trend line, but earnings are this week. Care Trust pays a decent dividend, 4%. Medical buildings, nursing homes, facilities, nice uptrend. CVS, more than a drugstore, they also own Aetna, makes a ton of money. Earnings are out. At some point, the managed care field is going to turn around. DHI is a home builder. We talked about these things here that were starting to move. They've broken out nicely, probably in advance or expectation of rates coming down. Vaximity, I guess they sell it as like the Facebook for doctors. I'm a doctor. I don't use it. I get pinged to use it all the time. I don't get it, but I don't think I got Facebook when it came out either. Big run up, pull back to the 200, breakout with a CPR, gap volume, breakout momentum out of a squeeze, relative strength and OBV turning up, not hyperextended. And I believe it had earnings are August 7th with significant beat. Low tech is in the oil services play. Some point these stocks are going to turn around. So it looks like it's breaking out here after a flag, after a high tight, a nice pull. Futu is a investment services company. Great earnings, ran up, pulled back. Looks like it's getting ready to run again. GCMG, I think, pays a decent dividend. Only 3.74, but an asset management company. I wonder how these are going to do if they're going to let us put our 401ks into private equity. Gilead is the company that cured AIDS. Well, it's not cured, but it certainly has reduced AIDS from being on the front page about people dying. And it's still a bad disease, but imagine you can take a shot twice a year and prevent HIV, even if you have high risk behaviors. This company is amazing. They also took care of hepatitis C. Haven't been rewarded as a stock, but it looks like it's breaking out and continuing this run. Gilead looks very good here. GVA Granite Construction. Somebody's got to build the data centers. This one broke out. Hood, financial services, broker, Bitcoin play. Um, a major run here from the 30s up to 110. Pulled back, and now it looks like it wants to go higher. I think Hood has another leg up coming, and I'm long Hood. Humana is one of these beaten down payers, and it kind of looks like home builders where it's recovering before we know why they're recovering. Um, like the managed care companies, the home builders are doing that, and it broke above the 200. I like that. IIIV, I just loved cup handle, massive breakout. Got to be on earnings, 228% growth. Multiple is 30. Do your own research. Lumentum, LITE. I don't know if I could buy it here, but I really love this. Is tight. This is loose. You want to buy tight leaders. LRCX, Lam Research, about to break out. This is affordable compared to some of the semis. Here's the opposite. There's another low cost one, LSCC. LV, LYV Live Nation, beautiful uptrend, pulled back to free parking and moved up. I like the 50 as a source to buy. MasterCard going sideways here. Um, Earnings are out, 15% grower. Multiple 33, pays a small dividend. MAG is one of the silver stocks, which you like a lot here, breaking out. MERM is a biotech, I believe. Pharmaceuticals breaking out. Micron was probably, besides Apple, was one of my second favorites. Big uptrend, tight as can be, a tight pullback, and now breaking back out. You had breakout of momentum. You have nice movement of relative strength and OBV over the moving averages. National fuel gas, beautiful uptrend, pullback. Don't like where it closed, but wanted to watch it. Netflix had a huge day on Friday, took out this descending trend line. Looks like it's ready to resume. Nvidia, we'll have to see how it trades tomorrow because it came out that they sort of traded 15% of their revenue in China to get the license to sell their H20s again in China. And remember, earnings are coming out when? The 27th. NVMI is a semiconductor company. Used to be something about Measurement Inc. Has to do with building semiconductors. Pull back to the 50 and a move up. PAAS is a silver play. PRM, Perimeter Water Solutions, beautiful uptrend, pull back and a new breakout. RBA, Ritchie Brothers Car Auctions, nice trend line up, looks to breaking out. Road, this is again another construction company. And there's something I liked about Road. See if I can remember it. Earnings are out, they don't look great. In fact, traded lower and then recovered and gapped up on Friday. SQM, I think of this as a lithium play, but it's also a fertilizer play. You know, it's very loose, not very tight. Tecogen, um, nice move, pull back and breaking out. Tesla, kind of at a good buy point. If you feel you need to own Tesla, you're buying it right at the 50. It had breakout. It had three momentum dots in a row, not two, three. And relative strength at OBV look good. Vista, healthcare Vista, Veristem. Yeah, this is a play on a drug getting approved. It's a cheap stock. They've got an interesting drug, had great data, but similar to AGEN, they're lottery tickets. And then waste management, just because it's on my list doesn't mean it's a good buy here. But you know, somewhere in here, if it takes that out, maybe it is a decent buy. So those are some that I liked. And if I had to call out my favorites, it would be Apple, two-dot move, Friday breaking out above the 200. APP, will it repeat what it did back here? Hood, getting ready to run again. Yeah, I think, let's see, will that do it for the night? And probably Tesla. All of them have based, all of them are having momentum, all of them close to the 50. Hope you have a great week, and I'll be back Monday with my usual. Thanks, everybody, and have a good night.